Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And just like that, you betcha. We are off, we're running. It's 97.7 ESPN The Zone's Talking Ball. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond with you until 9 a.m. And we have made it to a Friday. Yes, indeed, we've made it to the end of the week here at 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We invite you to join us all morning long. 256-576-4977. That's the number to the program. You can join us all morning long as we got to set the stage for tomorrow and Sunday. You got the NFL divisional playoff games going on. You've got plenty, and I mean plenty, of college basketball going on tomorrow. Some of that you're going to be able to hear right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Some of it you won't. So we'll get you ready for everything that goes there. We got a lot of college football news to throw out there this morning as well. So we've got a smorgasbord of topics, smorgasbord of things to do. But last night, I am sure nobody was up or even paid attention to the fact that 6th-ranked Gonzaga lost to Loyola Marymount last night at home, 68-67. Why do we even care that Gonzaga lost to Loyola Marymount at home? Two things. One, their 75-game home win streak snapped. Gone. Bye. Out the door. Why do we care about that? Because that means the team with the longest home winning streak in the country resides here in the state of Alabama. The Auburn Tigers now have the longest home court winning streak in the country at 28 games.
You know, when you said it'd be a team from this same state, Auburn was not my first pick.
Yeah, but they are. The Auburn Tigers, the longest home court winning streak now in the country, thanks to Gonzaga tripping up at home against Loyola Marymount last night, 68-67. Like I said, I don't think anybody was ever paying attention to the fact that Gonzaga lost or even played last night. That game probably was not even on TV. It may have been, but you had to stay up really late to watch it up there in Seattle at the Kennel. All right. 256-576-4977. That's how you can be a part of the program. Now, Auburn will not get a chance tomorrow to add to said winning streak as they are on the road at South Carolina. That one will get underway at 2:30. But you will be able to hear college basketball tomorrow all day long. Don't forget, though, tomorrow morning, Drew and I are going to be at University Kia from 10 to 12. So 10 to 12 tomorrow, we will be at University Kia. So you're going to have to come on in tomorrow, Bailey, 10 to 12. We're going to have you.
Looking forward to it.
All right, we'll be there. But then afterwards, though, you can just kind of cruise over to UAH because we gave enough time. UAH plays. The UAH women will play at 2 tomorrow, and you'll hear that game over the airways of 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And then at 4, the UAH men play against West Alabama. But you got to download the app so you can hear it on 97.7 ESPN The Zone 2. So that's how that'll play out. Remember, though, if you want to go see the UAH Chargers, thanks to our great sponsor, Bill Penny Toyota, you can go to those games for absolutely free. All you got to do is show up. You don't have to call us. You don't have to go to Bill Penny Toyota to get the tickets. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just show up to Spraggins Hall and you get to walk on in, walk right on up to the seats. And by the way, they're great, fantastic seats. There's not a bad seat in that venue, but it's free. So just going on out there and watch some UAH Charger basketball tomorrow, 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock there inside Spraggins Hall. Again, the women will play West Alabama at 2. The men will play at 4, but you got to download the app so you can hear the men on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone 2. So that is your college basketball news headlines, I guess you could say, right out of the gates. 256-576-4977. You can join the program throughout the morning if you would like. We do have some football news. Don't forget tomorrow you will have the divisional round of the playoffs. Kansas City will take on Jacksonville tomorrow at 3:30 on NBC. The Eagles will take on the Giants at 7:15. That's your night game on Fox. And then on Sunday, you get the Bengals and the Bills. That one will be at 2 o'clock. And then at 5:30, you get the 49ers and Cowboys. Those two games will be on Sunday. And when San Francisco and Dallas meet on Sunday, you have the two most successful postseason teams in league history. Dallas comes in with 36 career postseason wins as a franchise. Only New England has more at 37. That's the record for postseason wins as a franchise. San Francisco comes in with 35 postseason wins. That is, I guess you could say, third best on the list. San Francisco has 35, Dallas 36. So either San Francisco will tie Dallas, Green Bay, and Pittsburgh with 36 franchise wins, or Dallas will tie New England for most postseason wins in NFL history. One of those two things will happen on Sunday. So we'll talk some more NFL football for you coming up here in a little bit throughout the show, because there's all kinds of good stuff going on. Got a lot of college football notes, because remember, on Wednesday was the last day that you could put your name in the transfer portal. Now, that does not mean you had to come out of the transfer portal on Wednesday. It just meant that you had to have your name in the transfer portal by Wednesday. Yesterday, we had David Johnson on, and we talked some Ole Miss football. And we were talking about Lane Kiffin, and we were talking about last year Lane Kiffin earned the name the Portal King because of what he was able to accomplish getting guys out of the transfer portal. And we saw it already earlier this week when Lane Kiffin went in and grabbed Walker Howard out of LSU, the five-star quarterback, Walker Howard. Got him to head to Ole Miss. But Lane Kiffin was not done. Lane Kiffin yesterday, now David Johnson did kind of shed some light on the show yesterday and did tell us that, okay, there was great feeling that he was going to get some more out of the transfer portal, and he did. He got a big piece out of the transfer portal. Spencer Sanders, who was a 4-year starter at Oklahoma State, 85 career touchdown passes, will head to play for the Ole Miss Rebels. So Lane Kiffin, once again, getting it done via the transfer portal. So we'll break that down a little bit more as we kind of roll along here this morning. 256-576-4977. That's how you can be a part of the show this morning. So news there. Alabama also getting a piece out of the transfer portal yesterday. Georgia linebacker Tresman Marshall announcing he will head to Alabama. Not a starter for the Bulldogs this past season. Kind of a role player coming to Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, that I've been asked this a bunch already because it started breaking early evening yesterday. But I think he'd been in Tuscaloosa for several days. He'd only been in the portal for a few. So I think shortly after going into said portal, he had been on campus at Alabama trying to get enrolled, trying to get all his ducks in a row. And I'll be honest, when he tweeted out that he was in the portal, he never tweeted out, I'm going on this visit, I'm going here, I'm setting up this. He just quietly matriculated to Tuscaloosa. And when I guess they had everything, the I's dotted and the T's crossed, he announced his commitment. So I said on the show, I thought Alabama, one of the positions, about the four or so, was inside linebacker, was one of them that I thought they would address.
Right.
But his name had not come up, and I had not heard any buzz about it. It just sort of, matter of fact, one of our listeners sent it to me. It was on Instagram because I'm not as big an Instagram person as I am maybe Twitter, and I didn't see it on Twitter until after he announced it on his Instagram account, and I went to it and I was like, wow, and then it clicked. I mean, I remembered him when Alabama recruited him several years ago. And I didn't think much about it when he went in the portal a few days ago because, usually you start hearing like, okay, Alabama might be interested in said player, like Jermaine Burton a year ago. Jermaine Burton, as soon as he went in the portal, you start hearing Alabama might be interested. And then you hear it and you're like, oh, wow, okay, he's on campus. When they announce he's on campus visiting, then he visits, and then shortly thereafter he commits. Did not happen in this situation. But you're right. I mean, he's a 4-year guy. I think he saw most of his action this year in his career as far as snaps, tackles, and things of that nature. Not sure he was going to be a starter at Georgia. He wasn't throughout his career. But Alabama needed to add experience depth because I think, guys like Kendrick Blackshire are competing for jobs, Jihad Campbell, those kind of guys, Sean Murphy, but they don't have a lot of experience, and they're bringing this guy in to compete and maybe also even to kind of help teach the younger guys. So the scheme Georgia uses is very similar to Alabama's, and I think that's probably some of the motivation.
All right, 7:13 here on a Friday morning. Let's get our first break in. When we come back, more Talking Ball and your phone calls, 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at ChapmanCommercialRealty.com.
We love our pets, and when we need boarding or vet services, we want the best. That's why we chose Paradise Pet Resort and Spa. Everything our pets needed, all in one place. Boarding for both dogs and cats. doggy daycare, grooming and spa services, web cameras, and top-notch vet care, too. It's a true Paradise Pet Resort for your furry friends, serving all of North Alabama. Find out everything you need to know and book services online at ParadisePetResortAndSpa.com. Located in Madison, just off 565 at Wall Triana, behind Cracker Barrel.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
It's the event beer lovers wait for all year. The 7th Annual Von Brewski Beer Festival, presented by Publix. Enjoy over 120 brews from over 50 breweries, plus live music, hot pretzels, brats, and more. Saturday, January 28th in the VBC South Hall. Tickets available at vonbrauncenter.com or at the VBC box office. Admission is $50 in advance or $60 at the door. Non-beer sampling tickets are just $15 and a cash bar will be open. Must be 21 or older for entry.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, 7:17 on a Friday morning. Staying with the college football news, people coming, people going. And we talked a lot earlier this week about the NCAA cracking down on second and third time transfers. This one right here, I guess, would be number 3. Reek Gilbert has committed to play for Nebraska after spending the past 2 years at Georgia before spending a season there with LSU. So he is on his third school now, as he will be headed to Nebraska, I guess, to finish his playing career.
Yeah, he certainly, Arik's been through a lot off the field. He was a 5-star guy and made a pretty good impact at LSU, but unfortunately, he got caught up in the wash, and what I mean by that is Ed Ogeron couldn't manage a program, didn't do a very good job of it, especially the stuff off the field. And I'm talking about player discipline, class attendance, things of that nature, the systems put in place to help a guy stay on the straight and narrow. And Arik was already having some, homesickness and issues. And really it started happening in the middle of that true freshman year. But him staying, at LSU just wasn't going to happen because of all those factors. Now, at Georgia, he went through a lot. Finally got back on the field and caught a couple passes, and I think everybody was very happy for him. But here's the problem. The position he plays is the most loaded one on the Georgia team. Ooh. And now Darnell Washington has gone pro. Now he was gone,
right?
And we're not surprised by that. They still got
some guy by the name of Brock Bowers.
They got the freakazoid there. They got a couple other young tight ends.
And so,
as far as a huge role for Arik, and especially a starting role, that didn't look like it was going to happen. And so he's decided to go to Nebraska. Matt Rule's in place there now. They run pro-style stuff. Arik still has a lot of talent. He'll be one of the more intriguing guys to watch going forward, especially if he finally has his weight under control and if he can get over there and have a good spring practice. He could surprise some people.
Yeah.
I will say this, though. the 5-star status is long gone. So that shouldn't be a big factor. I mean, now it will get him attention because people, if you follow recruiting, you remember Arik Gilbert.
Right,
but
right.
It's probably not a bad thing that he's going across the country to play at Nebraska.
And it'll get him a little bit of attention because he was at LSU in Georgia. Just by having the SEC moniker by your name, you'll get a little bit of attention there. And
he just needs to keep his nose clean, grind, work. Matt Rule's a proven college coach, and he can still salvage his career. I mean, it's, as you just mentioned, it's his third school. And it was so funny when he committed to LSU. This is pre-NIL, of course. A lot of people thought he was coming to Alabama, and then out of nowhere, he miraculously commits to LSU. It's kind of like, and I don't think it was free back then, but hey, it is what it is. We know what Ogeron was doing. And it's just like Cormani McClain. He committed to Coach Prime yesterday, and Deion, love what he's about, love what he's doing, but he didn't do it for free.
No.
I'm just saying, with Colorado's history lately, and I hear it's a beautiful city, but you're going out there and it's 25 degrees and it's snowing. You're not going out there for free, bro.
Well, Cormani McClain's mom said it wasn't about the money. I'm just saying. Just saying what she said.
Okay.
She said God put them in the place, and this was where they needed to be.
How much did your church get, ma'am? That's all I want to ask. 550,000.
She said it wasn't about the money.
Yeah, and water's wet.
Johnny on his cell is with us this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. So I would say that. Hang on.
No problem. We're just taking it all in with Cormani. It wasn't about the money.
I would just tell you that we all know that Cormani. Look, there's money on the table. But now, all honesty, I mean, if I'm a kid that's a 5-star corner, and I want to learn the tricks of the trade from one of the best that ever played the position, I don't.
That's what he said too.
Coach Prime is as good as they ever.
I don't blame him there.
That's what he said in his interview.
But I do think that just like with Travis Hunter going to Jackson State, and Deion tried to claim it wasn't because of NIL. I mean, I'm sure both these young guys wanted to be coached by Coach Prime, but they also got some NIL money. I think we all understand that because, again, Jackson State is not Florida State where Travis Hunter was committed to. And Colorado right now, they have won a national championship in the past under Bill McCartney, but that was a long time ago, and they have not been very good in the Pac-12. But one thing I was told when Deion agreed to take the job is they were also stepping up their NIL game, and they have. And I mean, good Lord, I haven't looked, but at last count, I think they had over 20 transfers committed.
Yeah, but should we say that's the sole reason why he went there?
No, I mean, I think also being coached by Deion. But let's put it this way: a month ago, Colorado wasn't even on the list until Deion went there. I'll just put it in these terms: if Deion were still at Jackson State, Cormani McClain ain't at Jackson State. And, I mean, he could have gone there. He wasn't even considering them. It was Florida, Miami, and Alabama. Then Deion ends up at Colorado, and miraculously they get him on campus. And because it was thought that he was going to sign with Miami. I thought he was in December. And then when he didn't, then there was a lot of buzz for a couple weeks with Alabama. But then when Deion officially went to Colorado, and then you started hearing the buzz with Colorado, plus the ridiculous rumors about what all he wanted in writing and all this other stuff. In other words, kick rocks. Then, he ends up in Colorado.
Right. Yeah. So, a couple of things. I mean, it's good to see Bama getting some of the depth that back through the portal. And I would say this, yes, Kiffin is a very good, second. I mean, when you think of portal recruiting as almost secondary recruiting, but in this day and age, it cannot. I mean, it's becoming his primary means of finding work, finding talent that was disgruntled.
Yeah,
I would say that Jackson Dart is probably going in the portal at the next available juncture, just because he brought in 2 quarterbacks, and he was the starter all year. So I mean, what's he telling that kid? And that, look, in this day and age, egos are fragile, and that kid, you can say, okay, well, I'm not wanting here, I'm out. So
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you pick up a Spencer Sanders.
Freeze jump up and say, "I'll take you, Jackson Dart," because he ain't got anything on campus either.
I even got a call last
Johnny,
night.
thanks for the phone call as well, too.
Yeah, appreciate it, Johnny. I got a phone call last night about that. You're talking about Spencer Sanders, Scott.
Yeah.
Because remember, we had David Johnson on.
Yeah.
And I'll give David credit. I sent him a text right after the show because I was like, shortly after the show, Spencer Sanders ends up committing to Ole Miss, just like he predicted. He's like, that's what we're hearing. He committed. And then I got a call last night that said, don't be surprised if Jackson Dart is on a plane to Utah soon to BYU. So he's reading the tea leaves. I don't think Kiffin brought Spencer Sanders in to sit.
Not when you have thrown for 85 touchdowns and you have been the starter at Oklahoma State. And, I mean, look how close – I mean, Oklahoma State was not they were
I'm a little surprised he left
team.
Oklahoma State, but I mean, and then the day before we talked with David, he got Walker Howard.
Yeah.
So to me, Walker Howard is going to wait another year. I mean, I know he redshirted last year, but he's going to bide his time for a year behind Spencer Sanders and then take over. I feel vindicated here because I didn't see it with Jackson Dart. Look, I watched him last year. I thought he was good at times. At times, I thought he was horrible.
That offense from a year ago missed a beat. I mean, from
they still ran it well, but I agree. I don't think the passing game was all that great. And see, I'll give Lane Kiffin. He's becoming John Gruden. He just collects quarterbacks. He's like, okay. But I will say this. I'll say it again. Lane Kiffin is not a quarterback developer. What he is an offensive mastermind.
Well,
he can design offense.
Does this just further that case where
Exactly.
he's not recruiting a high school quarterback. He's going out and getting ones that have already proven themselves.
That is correct.
And he's just putting them in there, plugging
He's like,
them into his system.
Plugged into Madden, didn't work. Okay, he's a 97. We need to go get a 99. Let's plug him in, and then the plays I call be executed better because I'm sure as hell not improving him fundamentally.
When he was at Alabama, did he recruit? I'm trying to go back. Did he recruit anybody, help bring anybody in when he was at Alabama?
I mean, think about it, Scott. We didn't have the transfer portal back then.
Right.
But miraculously, Jake Coker graduated from Florida State and matriculated because they weren't satisfied with it. Now,
he had Blake Sims.
Now, and they keep trying to say he developed Blake Sims. What he did was Blake was better than everybody thought, and he designed an offense. What he did do, and he did an excellent job, is, he took a look at Blake, took a look at his skill set, and designed an outstanding offense around him.
Right.
But I don't think he improved Blake Sims. Now they'll say, he was a running back. He was a safety. He made a running back into a quarterback. Blake played quarterback for the majority of his career even before Lane got there. Now, what he didn't do, if you go back and look, is he only basically ran the zone read. He didn't throw very much at all. Now, I think Lane took a look and realized, he can throw the quick game, the screens and all that stuff. And then he's a pretty dadgum good deep ball thrower.
Right.
I don't think Lane Kiffin went out there in one summer and said, okay, son, we're going to throw 150 deep balls a day and you're going to improve. No, I think he just designed a quality offense, and he had a freakazoid like Amari Cooper out there to throw to, okay? I'm going to continue to fall on this sword. Some people have criticized me for it, but I'm telling you, Lane Kiffin doesn't develop quarterbacks. He develops offenses. There's a difference. See, Sarkisian develops the quarterbacks, okay?
Right.
That's why they work so well together at Southern Cal, okay? That's why they were co-coordinators, because you have to play off the strength of people here. That's what he did.
What about Jalen Hurts' first year, though? Because didn't Lane Kiffin have Jalen his first year?
But remember, it was a run-heavy offense. Heavy, very heavy, because they knew, because Jalen struggled with his reads back then. He was raw as hell, and he was the offensive newcomer of the year. But he ran the heck out of the football, and Alabama ran the heck out of the football. They didn't really have a downfield passing game of much.
That's true.
And then Blake Barnett was a scared deer and looked like a deer in headlights, and he panicked and left, and he couldn't play dead in a B Western anyways. I mean, I loved his family. Think he's a great kid, but he went to 3 schools, Scott.
I was going to say, is he on his 6th school?
No, he graduated now. He did a hell of a job in the classroom wherever he went. He's a smart kid.
Yeah.
And he's got a great family now. But I'm just telling you, he only started at South Florida, and even then, he lost that job because he got hurt.
Yeah.
And he didn't set the woods on fire.
All right. Interesting stuff there. We got some got to get a break in, but when we come back, We got some stuff out of Tennessee, and we got some other stuff that we got to get to. We got a lot of stuff to get to. Plus, your favorite state in the union is at it again with some crazy rules for college athletes.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon, but temperatures only going to climb into the lower 50s. Temperatures falling into the low and mid-30s as we head into the overnight. Early Saturday morning, a mostly cloudy or an overcast sky Saturday afternoon. An isolated shower certainly can't be ruled out, but most of us are probably going to end up staying dry. Significantly better opportunity for widespread rain across the Tennessee Valley through a good majority of Sunday afternoon. Temperatures only climbing into the upper 40s and lower 50s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
Former basketball player and Hall of Famer Charles Barkley is one of Alabama's most recognizable sports stars. Nicknamed the Round Mound of Rebound and Sir Charles, the Leeds native had a remarkable basketball career with the Auburn University Tigers before embarking on a career in the NBA. Barkley also played for the U.S. Olympic basketball team in the 1992 and 1996 Summer Games. Since his retirement in 2000, Barkley has carved out a niche as a basketball analyst, author, and commentator on political and social issues. Since 2001, Auburn University, the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Phoenix Suns have retired Barkley's number 34 jersey. In 2006, Barkley was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
1 in 3 adults in America have prediabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Years 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mom my. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Time now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. When we're talking Alabama football, what's the biggest name we're talking about right now that's not with Alabama football, that everybody wants to be back at Alabama football? That'd be Jeremy Pruitt.
Yes, it would.
All right. So why is Jeremy Pruitt not there yet? Well, maybe we have an answer as to when we might be able to find all this out. According to Jimmy Hines.
Yeah.
UT Athletic Director Danny White was on his show yesterday.
Jimmy.
And said this, that Tennessee is still awaiting. They have not heard back from the NCAA regarding their response, Tennessee's response to the recruiting violations. Tennessee responded about November 24th to the NCAA. That's when Tennessee sent all their stuff back. The NCAA had 60 days to respond to Tennessee. And if I do my math right, that comes out to about January 24th.
There you go. That's next week.
So that is next week. That is in 4 days.
So my new insurance goes into play, and I'm going to need it.
Tennessee, according to Danny White on Jimmy Hyam's show yesterday, said Tennessee has spent about $1.4 million in legal fees during the course of the investigation.
Yeah.
So we all want to know when Nick Saban is going to hire said new defensive coordinator. Jeremy Pruitt's name just keeps getting hotter and hotter.
Yeah.
This might be an answer as to when we would know if there are any sanctions coming down on Jeremy Pruitt. We could know within the next 4 to 5 days, if my math is right. I could be wrong, but that could give us an avenue as to when things might come about.
It could, no doubt about it. But I think Alabama's look. If I had $1 for every text and every message I've got this week about Todd Grantham being the DC, I'd probably be on a vacation somewhere. But I don't think Todd Grantham's being the defensive coordinator. If Todd Grantham was going to be the defensive coordinator, he would already be the defensive coordinator.
Right.
I think Saban is dotting I's, crossing T's, trying to make sure that Jeremy is going to be okay, and he should be. Hugh Freeze is coaching at Auburn. Let me say that one more time. Hugh Freeze is coaching at Auburn. And people act like Jeremy just got fired 5 days ago.
Right.
He's been out 2 years.
How long was Hugh Freeze away from the SEC?
I mean, I think he was out of coaching at least 2, maybe 3 years before he got, rehired, at Liberty. Because remember, Liberty was actually the first on-field job he got because Greg Sankey doesn't want to admit it, but he blocked Hugh Freeze from being hired at Missouri, being hired as an analyst at Auburn, being hired as an analyst at Alabama. So, and Bandy, did you look that up?
He's been out of the SEC for 5 years.
Well, 5, but I'm just saying, Liberty, he was there for 3, right? So I think he was out of coaching completely for 2 years.
Yeah, well, actually, Ole Miss 16 to 19.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
yeah, he was last year at Ole Miss was 16. Did not coach anywhere until 2019.
Yeah, so he was out nearly. That's what I thought 3. So it was 3. Yeah. So he spent 3 years out because I think 2 of them were a show cause.
Okay, I was seeing conflicting reports because this says Ole Miss from 2012 to 2017, and then Liberty from 2018 to 2022.
On his Wikipedia page, it says 16 to 19.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that 19 was his last year at Ole Miss, and then he spent a couple. Well, I want to say
19 was his last year. Well, see, that's not right because
because I think it may have been 18 because he beat Nick Saban in 15 and 14 and 15, and then he lost in 16 in that high scoring game. Pruitt was there. And then in 17, I think he was still there. I think that's when he got fired before the 18 season.
Right.
And so 18 and 19, he was out of it.
Well, so on the Auburn page,
yeah,
it lists him 2012 to 2016 at Ole Miss.
Right.
2018, he coached the Arizona Hotshots.
Yeah.
He was the offensive coordinator at the Arizona Hotshots, and then 2019 took over as the Liberty coach. This is according to the Auburn, his bio on the Auburn
that's
page.
What I'm saying, but yeah. I believe he spent about 2 to 3 years. I mean, and I'm talking about when I say out of coaching, I don't even consider the hotshot bull crap. I'm talking just about the college stuff, and because that's when he became a head coach again. So I believe he spent at least 2 years out, and then he got the job at Liberty. I believe it was 2 years, and then in the interim in between there, he was in the whatever the hell that was called, the Arizona Hotshots.
Was that the?
I think that was the.
Was that the Alliance?
That was the Czar. The Alliance.
Czar? Yeah.
I think the Czar did at least one of his games, and so
that was the Czar's league.
The Czar's league. So he was in the Alliance. We went and watched some of that putrid crap over there where Birmingham got blown out by Steve Spurrier.
We did. That's right. Legion Field.
We try to forget because that was around the Gulf South Conference tournament and UAH was
That's
playing.
That's right. We packed up.
But we went over there.
We rode with Tokyo Drift.
Mm-hmm.
Did we not? That's right. We did. Didn't we?
Who? Who's playing? Where? How many's here? I still got some towel they gave us or something.
That's right. It was a black towel.
Black towel, yada, yada, yada.
Yes. All 50 people that showed up. Just so we could watch the Czar do his radio.
Yeah, and we met Mike Johnson. That was cool because Mike did the color.
Yeah.
And they were in there. We got some decent food, but it was terrible football.
That's right, because we all rode with Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, we did. It was horrible football, horrible. I try.
Okay,
I
who
try
is
to
Tokyo
forget.
Drift? I'm not getting.
Well, okay, this is Molton. If you're ever in a see, Bandy, you have not had a road trip with Molton yet.
I haven't been around long enough.
You've
to hear
not
Tokyo
had a
Drift
road
yet.
trip unless you drive
unless you
Drift.
ride with the Tokyo Drift, or you have to follow Tokyo Drift, which I did for 3.5 hours in a snowstorm to Atlanta for the Super Bowl. Okay,
Yes.
and I hung in. Scott can tell you, we were going through Mentone. I mean, I'm hanging in with the curves and everything else because Tokyo Drift had the hammer.
So when the Super Bowl was in Atlanta, we all went over there to do our shows, but we could not. So we had to get over there in time to set up for the morning show. We didn't leave until what, midnight?
No, it was It's 1:30 in the morning. It's snowing in Mentone and Scottsboro.
We're going through the back
We
road.
got out by this much where they were about to close the roads, man.
So we were going up through Sand Mountain and everything, and Steve knows the roads.
Yeah, he does.
But it's like 1:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
we're the only two cars really on the road. And all of a sudden, we start going through these S-curves and windy curves, and we're not slowing down.
Hell no.
we're flat out going right. I mean,
I never lost sight of them, and Scotty was even making
I'm
note
riding
of
with
it.
Moulton, and I'm just sitting here holding on for dear life. And Steve's just over here, la-di-da-di-da. We're just, whoa.
And Scott's like, Drew's still back there. He's still back there. He's hanging in.
I'm like, keep turning my head around, going, "Oh, we still."
I had to keep up with him. I didn't even know where the hell the hotel, or the house was, or whatever. Because Wes had rented a house and then knocked his rearview mirror off, and that's another story for another day. I mean, at least mine was retractable. But I mean, it's just one of those things where we didn't know where we were going.
I had no idea.
Didn't. Molton knows Atlanta. I didn't have it in the GPS. I'm sitting there going, I can't lose sight of this SOB. I gotta hang in. So it's like Duke's a friggin' hazard.
At 2:00 in the morning, going through Mentone in a snowstorm.
Oh, I mean, we were worried they were going to close the road. They weren't even going to get out. I mean, I was. I'm sitting there pumping gas. I'm like, man, we got to get the hell out of here.
Steve goes, "Well, is Drew back there yet?" And I'm like, "Yep." He goes, "Well, watch this."
Oh,
we're flying through these curves.
Yeah.
But we made it in time.
Oh, we did. I think we were up for like 28 hours straight.
It was, we were delirious. We were just getting food. I don't even know.
And then I nearly wrecked because Steve was backseat driving. We're trying to find this friggin' house. It's a restaurant. No, turn here. No, there.
Oh, you had Wes. We had Wes in the car.
And Wes is like,
and it was all four.
What the hell are you doing? I'm sitting there. I'm listening to Molton back here.
Okay, so that was the. We were so off record, but that's okay. That was the same trip where Wes said we need to go east to the house, and Steve was like. Steve got it all mixed up.
Oh, me!
And he was
I'm
like,
not
West,
even talking about it because I don't know.
Steve was like, no.
East is west and west is south and all this other bull crap.
He goes, Atlanta's to the east.
I'm like, and
Wes
is looking at him like,
Wes
what the hell?
Wes out the window and says, Steve, what the hell are you talking about? Atlanta's to the right. That's to the west.
And then he's telling me right, no left, left, no right. And I pulled out in front of somebody. Wes thought he was going to die. I mean, good Lord. I'm like, Steve, what the hell?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my goodness. We got to get a break in.
And then he gave me and then you've heard the story about the cookie.
That's where I gave you the sugar cookie, and I about killed you.
He bought me a sugar cookie with the most icing on it. It was a Super Bowl logo that I've ever seen in my life. I had only been a type 2 diabetic for about a year, and I decided to eat this. And Scott's like, I bought you a cookie. And
I got all three. I got Steve, Drew, and I a cookie. I got us all a little decorative, commemorative Super Bowl cookie.
I mean, you see all these Debbie cakes we've been getting, and you've even eaten some of them now. Now, this is on another level, man. I'm just telling you.
That's where the whole tingling thing started.
Yeah, and I only ate one
cookie. Yeah, and all of a sudden he just starts tingling.
I'm like, good Lord, at all this icing, man.
There's a lot of different things. We could talk about that trip.
We did have a good food at an Italian restaurant. He ordered the whole menu.
How about going?
He had a souffle, man. He was like highfalutin.
But how about I've signed us up for the sampling event?
Oh my Lord! I've never seen somebody eat as much as Scott did. I had like 3 things.
So the best part about the Super Bowl was they let us go to the Dome a couple days beforehand.
Yeah.
And we got to go in and go down there and sample all of the food that they were going to have on the menu that was kind of creative in the Georgia Dome that night, or the Mercedes-Benz Dome that night. And we thought we were just going to get these little tiny samples. No.
That was the thing. As soon as Scott found out it was the whole menu, bro, I'm telling you.
But
they 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All they did was just put all of this food out. They had all these chefs out there.
Yeah.
And they just put all this food, and it was full portion samples.
Oh, it was.
So like chicken and waffles was the whole chicken and the
waffle.
whole waffle.
I ate a couple, 2 or 3 little things, a hot dog and a couple.
They had
Scott was
3 or 4
away,
different kinds of hot dogs, the chicken and the waffles. They had the drinks. It was just laid out in a spread, and they were just like, y'all just go eat.
Yeah, that's all he told me.
I'll just go
free
eat.
reign, man. Scott just starts going around taking these samples that they're putting out full board and then asking for other stuff. And heck, you can. It's free. I was full. I couldn't hardly walk, but he's still eating.
Yeah, I would have been
like,
right there.
Where the heck
I would have been right there with you,
bro? That's where it came. That's where tapeworm came from. Because we're like, where are you putting all this?
I mean, Scott, I would have been right there with you. Did they offer you full portions for
did.
samples?
I
would have been right there with you.
If you could eat it, the more power to you. I couldn't eat that much food, man. Because you know how it is. It's expensive as hell usually when you get these concessions. But it is portions, man. They give you a lot. So
they weren't holding back. I mean, there was desserts. There was so much stuff. I mean, we walked out and we had no idea what we were getting into.
I couldn't eat the desserts because I had already had a cookie, man. So there's no way I could eat all that stuff.
Let's get a break in. More Talking Ball when we return. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Whoa.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Hi, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to kickstart the new year with 0% interest. We've got financing as low as 0% APR for 36 months on 2022 and 2023 models of F-150, Explorer, Edge, and Escape. Plus, there's an extra $1,000 bonus cash on F-150 XLT. Come on in to Woody Anderson Ford today and choose from over 100 F-150s and nearly 50 Explorers. I bet you can find exactly what you're looking for. And we've also got longer-term financing as low as 4.9% for up to 72 months. It's available on 2022 F-150, Explorer, Edge, Escape, and Mustang. With your good credit, these offers are through Ford Motor Credit. Offers end January 31st. At Woody Anderson Ford, we'd be glad to walk you through the online ordering, too. Plus, you'll get $1,000 bonus cash. Come see us and let's get 2023 off to a great start. Woody Anderson Ford, Jordan at Sparkman. Hope to see you soon.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
This is Mike Greenberg. Be sure and download the app today. Just search for 97.7 ESPN and listen to my show every weekday right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And I said your favorite state in the union is at it again. That would be California.
Yeah.
Your favorite state in all of the 50 states.
Pit hole of America.
So a California lawmaker has introduced a bill. Okay.
Yeah.
Requiring, now just keep in mind, he's introduced a bill. It doesn't mean it's a law yet, because remember, a bill is a law.
I'm just a bill sitting here on Capitol Hill. Yeah.
Well, we all know that from Schoolhouse Rock.
Yes, we do.
He introduced a bill requiring universities in the state to share as much as 50% of the revenue with athletes, a pay-for-play system that would buck the NCAA policy. We may keep in mind this is the state that did usher in NIL, and they could radically change the athletes. Now, given the revenue figures from Power 5 teams, football players there in California could make anywhere between $100,000 to $200,000 a year. Athletes would receive up to $25,000 a year. Okay? Now, here's where it could get cool. And the excess would be placed in a fund that they can access only if they graduate within 6 years of enrollment. The other part is the bill includes a severe penalty for athletic directors. Any AD who cuts sports teams, roster spots, or scholarships will be suspended for a minimum of 3 years if his or her school also pays a coach or administrator of at least $500,000 in salary.
Well, that'll never get passed because the ADs aren't going to they're not going to tolerate that. I mean, they just not. In theory, it's not a bad plan, but it'll never get it's just going to have to Schoolhouse Rock. It's just going to be sitting there on Capitol Hill. Yeah. It's not going to get off the ground. Not if you can suspend an athletic director for 3 years. Nope, that'll never happen.
No, that is because I believe there was Stanford or Cal or whatever.
Well, I mean, it sounded like, exactly.
It's a retaliation for that.
Well, and UCLA was threatening to until they went to the Little 10.
Right.
So they don't want schools in their state cutting programs.
Right.
Which
and the governor of California adamantly tried to prevent happening.
Yeah.
UCLA going to the Big Ten.
Yeah, but again, that's the problem. It's all about the money. And again, UCLA, they probably didn't exactly run their athletic programs in the correct and proper way, but they're also in California. And so, is there anything being done properly in California is all I'll say.
Well, no, because what happened in California has unleashed a whole
Jaden Rashada
different...
is from California. That's all you have to know. He's asking for $13 million before he ever takes a snap.
What school do you think is going to be suckered in enough to signing him?
I was reading about this yesterday, and I know this will shock you here, but the first one mentioned was Arizona State in the Pac-12, and the second was Cal Berkeley. There you go, Cal Berkeley. That's what that,
For those that were not listening,
hey, I love you, Daryl Miles. I love you. But it's Cal Berkeley. It's a great academic institution. But again, it's in the Pac-12. Come on.
That it is in the Pac-12.
I'm glad you moved down here, bro. You had to get out of there.
Just so that you know, Bill Walton's getting an alternative TV channel so that he, like an alternate game cast for some NBA games.
Well, there's no way I'm watching it. I got enough of it for 3 days near Thanksgiving, man. I had to almost mute it.
Are you done?
I mean, he's eating donuts. Now, you would have loved it. I mean, he had a donut as big as his head. I mean, he's sitting there taking huge bites out of it. I mean, I can't remember. Oh, my Lord. And then he's talking. The basketball game's going on. He starts talking about the Grateful Dead. He takes it over in some other tangent, brings up Larry Bird, which is interesting. But then he pivots from there. You're like, Bill, what in blue blazes is going on?
Blazes is what's going on.
Exactly. That's all I kept thinking of was, I'm like, wow. Ecstasy something. I don't know. And I'm not advocating any of it. That's not what I'm saying on this show. I'm just saying that Bill's had a little bit.
Bill's had a lot.
Yeah.
Bill doesn't remember how much Bill's had.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, that'd be one of these days. If we ever, we probably would never go to an NBA event, considering how much I think of them. But anyway,
you missed out last year when we went to the national championship game. I got everybody. Wes, Steve, and I.
Yeah.
We did go to the Pacers.
Yeah.
And Jazz game.
That's right.
And you chose to do the book for Huntsville High.
Yeah, I did. That's right. Because I came down with Brett Beard, and then we made it down.
It took you how long to get from?
Oh my God! No, that was really the one home though. That's the trip home was the disaster.
It took you a little while.
That was decent, but the one home was just an unmitigated disaster.
Well, see, once again, I get stuck with Tokyo Drift, and there's ice all along 65, and of course we just flat out hit the gas.
We thought we were going to make it home in 7 or 8 hours. And it turned into like 15. I mean, it was just like, Brett and I could write a book with some of this stuff. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We've been on the road so much. I mean, it was just like, holy Toledo.
And then you
when the GPS just keeps backing up, you're in trouble,
That's
man.
the house where you almost ended up
That's a matter of fact. That is a perfect Tokyo Drift story because They left like 30 or 40 minutes before we did, but he got the hammer down, and they flew straight through all this traffic jam crap. They got home 5 or 6 hours before we did because we got stuck in it behind it. They called and warned us, but it was too late by then.
I was on map patrol. Okay?
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I got the rental car from Kia. Okay?
That's right.
I went and got and I still don't drive it. Okay, but anyway.
Right.
I was on map patrol, and I got us around it, and I navigated us. But that's the house where you had to sleep on bunk beds.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, I had to sleep on a bunk bed, man.
That's the house that had a pool table in it, too. And we also...
Well, our own Freddie Kirby came up with one of the great one-liners. He said, Jimbo is dirt neck. Steve is dirt track.
Oh, no. He's Tokyo. He's Tokyo Drift.
And then he did say you could change Cormani McLean's name to Cormoney.
Cormoney McLean.
Yeah, there you go.
Now,
that could be an NIL
good
deal.
one. That is a good one. But what would we call Jaden Rashada? All right. Got to get a break in. Hour 2 of Talking Ball is going to get underway here in just a minute. Stay with us.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe.
2 divisional playoff games Saturday in the AFC. The Jaguars an 8.5-point underdog at the Chiefs, 52.5 the total. Then the NFC divisional playoff with the Eagles minus 7.5 at home against the Giants, 48 the over-under. On Sunday, the Bengals plus 5.5 at the Bills, 49 the over-under, and the Cowboys plus 4 at the 49ers, the total at 46.5. Saturday night in Rio, UFC 283, the light heavyweight title fight, the main event. Glover Teixeira, the champion, a plus 115 underdog against challenger Jamal Hill at minus 135. Then for the flyweight title, defending champion Davison Figueiredo plus 105 against Brandon Moreno at minus 125.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And welcome back, Talkin' Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We told you to kick off the show this morning that if you stayed up late or had any reason to watch top 25 basketball last night, you did see that Gonzaga's 75-game home win streak came to an end. And why should you care? Well, because the Auburn Tigers now have the nation's longest college basketball home win streak at 28 games. They don't get to add to that tomorrow. They're going to be on the road at South Carolina, but the nation's longest home winning streak resides here in the state of Alabama.
It does. 28 games in a row for the Auburn Tigers and Bruce Pearl. They have been one of the best college basketball teams in the country when it comes to home court advantage. At Neville Arena, I'm still having to get used to that. Of course, it was Auburn Arena for many years. Now it's Neville Arena. But they have been tremendous at home. A rabid following, rabid crowds. It's just a tremendous home court advantage. And now they are the keepers of the flame as far as the longest home court winning streak in the SEC, and they're one of the hottest teams in the SEC. They have really stabilized, and we're going to talk about that. And since 2001, our next guest has covered the Auburn Tigers. He is with AuburnSports.com, part of the Rivals Network, and we're going to talk some basketball and a little football with Brian Matthews. Brian, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me in.
Absolutely. And what about it now? That was a shocker last night, Loyola Marymount. I was drifting off to sleep, but I did see they lost by 1 point. Now Auburn with the longest winning streak in America in college basketball at home.
Yeah, that's something else. That's great for Auburn. It's great for the program, and says a lot about just the atmosphere and what it's like at Neville Arena. And I've been there for a lot of games, and it really is changed so much in the past, decade or so under Bruce Pearl, and it really is a terrific home court advantage for Auburn every night.
Well, Auburn's staying with that hardwood, seeming to find their identity, seeming to really find out what this team can do and can't do, the strengths, the weaknesses, and it's going to get tested. South Carolina, we've seen them beat Kentucky, and then we've seen them just get flat out embarrassed in their other games. It's a road game for Auburn on Saturday, but this team seems to be starting to find out really who they are.
Yeah, I think part of their identity is they don't have one, meaning like it seems like every night somebody different steps up,
Right.
There have been some constants. Wendell Green has been terrific during this 4-game winning streak. Been Auburn's best players. But Janai Broome has been Auburn's most consistent player, and it's been more up and down here lately. Alan Flanagan has stepped up a bit lately, his production. And Jalen Williams, when he gets going, he can carry this team. He just doesn't do that necessarily on a consistent basis, although he's doing a little bit more now, I believe.
Well, and Brian, I've said this. I think Jalen Williams may be the most underrated player on the team.
Well, I mean, he can really be a tough cover because he is one of Auburn's better three-point shooters. And then he's got that nice little jump hook, whatever you want to call it, around the basket. It's really hard to defend, and it's been pretty accurate so far. So, yeah, I would say he's really tough to defend offensively. And then he's been playing really well defensively, too, and rebounding and just doing a lot of little things that you would expect from a guy who's been in the program for 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, he's just kind of flown under the radar. And I'll give him credit. With all these guys, a lot of people transfer when they don't have starting roles. He just kind of grinded, and I knew something, was up as far as when I went to Basketball Media Day over at the Bohemian Hotel in Mountain Brook, and he was with the Auburn contingent, he and Wendell Green. I just sort of felt like, okay, I know he's been a role player for the previous three seasons, but I knew, Alan Flanagan's been trying to make his way back, but Bruce Pearl bringing him to the media, I kind of felt like he was going to take on a bigger role this year.
Definitely, and he has. And, you'll hear Bruce talk about him and just wants to be more aggressive. He's sort of pounds, but I think Jalen's finally sort of hearing and starting to go out there and play in that fashion and be more assertive, I think is maybe a better word for him. And it certainly pays off for Auburn because he's a really good player and a fantastic young man, too.
Yeah,
and you look at the schedule now for Auburn. I know they have South Carolina on Saturday, but after that, it kind of get ramped up a little bit. You get Texas A&M, who's undefeated in league play. You get West Virginia in the Big 12 Challenge, and then it's Georgia, and then it's at Tennessee, at Texas A&M, and Alabama. That's how the lineup is for the next 7 games for Auburn.
Yeah, they need to get as many wins as they can right now because you look at their last 10 games, home and away to Tennessee, home and away to Alabama, on the road at Texas A&M, on the road at Vanderbilt, which is always a really tough place to play. I don't know if I mentioned Kentucky on the road there, too.
Yes.
So it's a really hard finish for Auburn. So they're 5-1 now. This is a big game for them. It's on the road. Anything can happen, right? We know that Gigi Jackson, I think it is, the best player, freshman, is capable really of beating anybody. He's a 6'9", stretch 4 who can just light up an opponent if he gets hot. So it's regardless of what Auburn's record is or how well they played at LSU, this is another game. It's a short turnaround for them. Got home late Wednesday night, got to go out today. So this will be another test for them, I think.
No question about it. And of course, we talked about Jalen Williams, and he was tremendous. In their home win over Mississippi State. He had 5 threes, led the way with 21 points, Wendell Green with 17 points. But what's been the key for this resurgence for Alan Flanagan? This is what Auburn was waiting on last year. It never really materialized. 2 years ago, he was an all-SEC player. It looked like he was on the fringe of the NBA. He checked his stock, decided to come back, but then the injuries started occurring, and he just wasn't the same player. But it looks like he's finally rounding back into form.
It really does. And, I think he's feeling better, physically.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the things he's doing is being a little bit more patient.
Right.
When he drives into the lane. In the past, he's just committed a lot of turnovers, not necessarily finishing well or passing well or doing some other things. And now he's being a little bit more careful and is, making better decisions, pulling up and hitting that little mid-range jumper more often, getting some nice assist when he drives in, just being a little bit smarter player than what you'd expect from a guy who's been in the program for a while, even though, his development was sort of interrupted by that Achilles injury.
And I was going to ask you, too, about this next guy, because in the last couple of games off the bench, he's getting 10-plus minutes of action. I know he's a fan favorite. He was a favorite of mine because I watched him for 4 years in high school, and he played for the great Bucky McMillan. But talk about Lior Berman and kind of the role that he's been taking on.
Well, Chris Moore hurt his shoulders.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, yes.
To come into that rotation. And he's really shown that he belongs in the rotation, right? He's everybody knows he's a good shooter, but he's doing some other things now. He's getting rebounds, defending better than he has ever defended, and making, some nice. I think he had a nice back cut and a layup in a key situation against LSU. So he's just playing really well, and Pearl's got some decisions to make, I think, when Chris Moore comes back, because he really needs to find, in my opinion, a way to give Leo those minutes or to keep them involved in the regular rotation.
Yeah,
Well, while Auburn will go on the road Saturday to South Carolina and try to,
get 2 road wins in a week.
Get some wins. Yeah, a good one there at LSU and one against South Carolina. We'll have to see if they can get that done. And speaking of getting it done, Hugh Freeze continuing to just add players, add depth to this Auburn roster.
I think they've done an excellent job in the transfer portal. I think the biggest thing when you look at the 2 previous coaches is the recognition of Auburn's problems and taking steps to fix those immediately. And we talked about the offensive line, I feels like a million times, how much issue has been, how their offensive tackle recruiting has been so bad, how they just have struggled to get talented players at those positions. And Hugh Freeze shows up and he, signs and enrolls 3 transfers there, a tackle, a center, and a guy who can play tackle or guard. He signed a top JUCO kid there who's enrolled and signed 4 high school kids in the offensive line, and 3 have already enrolled. So that's 7 new offensive linemen right then and there, within 5 or 6 weeks of arriving in Auburn. So that's a coach that recognizes a need and goes out there and takes care of it, doesn't make excuses or fails over and over again. He also did a great job on the defensive line, another area that Auburn was desperate for players and experience and talent. And he's really infused that side of the ball with some good players. 3 really good, I guess 4 if you count the McAllister kid from Vanderbilt, Elijah McAllister.
That's right.
But brought in some really good defensive linemen too that are going to start and be in that rotation right away.
Yeah, 21 newcomers for the spring, Brian, so you're going to need a roster sheet.
Exactly. And this team needed it.
Yes.
Because I thought going into 2023, before these arrived, that this was going to be one of the worst rosters and maybe worst teams that I've covered at Auburn. And he's totally flipped that, since the end of November. So a terrific job. And I like the other things he's done. I mean, I think Batty, the running back, is just a playmaker there and make a difference on special teams, which Auburn needs those type of players, right?
Mm-hmm.
Went out there and got 2 linebackers. I think they're looking for a 3rd, and that's a position that was really weak last year and needed an infusion of talent, and he's done it. Went out there and got a receiver and a tight end to help their offensive skill position. So I think he's done a great job, and I think they have more work to do. I think they feel that way. And I think they're going to go after a quarterback in the spring. I think they'll go after another linebacker, and I think they'll go after at least another receiver. So, and probably go after best availables too. See what's out there. But I think they've done a great job, and I don't think they're done.
Well, and I wanted to ask you this too, because we've heard reports and that he's going to wait till he graduates and after the spring. But is T.J. Finley actually going to go through spring?
I'm not sure what his status is going to be. I think he is going to at least go through it, go through workout.
Right.
And that's probably best for him, right? Even if he does transfer after he graduates, it's better for him to be a part of the program and go through workouts and continue to be coached up and continue to practice. So, but I don't know exactly, how much he'll be a part of the quarterback competition per se. Mm-hmm. I would expect Robbie Ashford to get a whole lot of reps and a really great look in the spring along with Holden. And we'll see what TJ Finley how many reps he gets and such. But I really think this is Robbie Ashford's team, and then I think they're going to bring in a quarterback, in May for the summer to give him some real competition.
I would imagine they would have to almost, because the position is so young and inexperienced, and certainly Ashford got a lot of experience last year, but you would need kind of an older head just in case of an injury, I would think.
Absolutely. And, you look at Robbie and you see the potential, of course, absolutely. I don't think anybody can argue with that, but it is potential. You don't know how he's going to develop. You know that you Freeze and Philip Montgomery and those guys have developed some good quarterbacks in their career. So that's a great sign and something to be excited about if you're Auburn. But you can't assume that, right? You can't assume that he's going to become, a great SEC quarterback or NFL prospect quarterback. You have to go out there and get other players to, compete with them, to make him better, to make sure you have that guy you can depend on in SEC games. So Robbie's just a sophomore. Mm-hmm. So even if they bring in a transfer guy, it could be great for Robbie to, compete and maybe be back up for a year. And, if that's what occurs, we'll see. So I just think it's unfair to make too many assumptions about quarterbacks other than Auburn's going to try their hardest to bring in another talented guy to compete with Robbie.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I'm going to plant my last comment, and I'm going to plant this seed. And remember, if I can get it in front of a microphone in Nashville for the SEC football media days, I've already got my question locked and loaded for Hugh Freeze because he recruited this kid to Ole Miss. I wonder if he thinks this Brian Batty, and if I'm mispronouncing the last name, I certainly apologize. But I wonder if he believes this kid could be like a Dexter McCluster type guy.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, the thing I like about him is he's played in 24 games the past 2 years, and he's not a big kid. He's about 5'8" or so.
That's right. Just like Dexter. Yeah, smaller guy.
Yep. But he shows up, right? He's not a guy that gets hurt all the time, or if he does, he's out there playing anyway. So that's a great sign. And, you felt like Auburn sort of needed one more back, and the fact that he could do those different things on special teams is just a really big bonus for Auburn because they haven't really had a whole lot of difference makers on special teams. And when you're looking at Auburn next year, even though they've done a great job, getting these transfers in, they're not like getting first-round draft picks, right? Mm-hmm. Transfers are getting good players.
Right.
But they're still going to have to, play well, and they're going to have to be in some tight games, and a big player on special teams could make a huge difference. So I really like the contribution he could make next year.
Really good. Well, great stuff always from Brian Matthews. Let everybody follow your coverage, man, and a big game for Auburn coming up on the road to South Carolina. As you said, this back half of the SEC schedule is going to be really tough, but Auburn with a chance to get another big road win this week.
Yeah, absolutely. 5-1 right now in the conference, which I think is terrific for this team. You can get our full coverage of football, transfer, recruiting, basketball, baseball is getting started. That'll be here soon. All that and more at auburnsports.com. Check me out on Twitter at BMattAU.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Brian.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, Brian Matthews there. Great stuff. Auburn Tiger stuff. Good inside stuff there. Got to get a break in. We'll come back. High school basketball talk. Bet you didn't know and about another streak.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Welcome back. Stan McDonald from the Stanton Law Firm. I had lunch with Lewis just recently and with a client of ours, a mutual client, and great to hear all the good things going on at the Stanton Law Firm.
Thank you, Wes. The Stanton Law Firm, as you know, we've discussed before, we're dirt lawyers. We do a lot of real estate, litigation and closing. And yes, my son Lewis McDonald enjoyed meeting you a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of your friends. He is, as you know, he's opened up a commercial closing division. So he's really helping a lot of people who are trying to close, buy, or sell on their commercial property. And you can't be in this community doing business without knowing Wes neighbors.
I don't know about that, but sure was getting to meet another McDonald and talking a little bit about his grandfather, Coach Dye, and right. The different things. It was a lot of fun.
Well, your listeners are really going to enjoy meeting Lewis and you in this community. And like I said, at Jacob Title or the Stanton Law Firm, we close business. We close some good commercial closings, residential closings. We appreciate being part of your show.
AVIQ.
Who is
is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing, helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatewitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Steve Moulton here with Carrie Rosenblum from Rosenblum Realty. Carrie, for those looking to get their home on the market, what do they need to do?
Well, certainly give us a call, Steve. But what we'll do is come out, look at your home, but also give you, more importantly, what the market is doing about the value of your home, what it's going to bring, again, what the process is going to be to get you to eventually a closing table so you have real money to reinvest or do something else with. So that's very important to know you get to a closing table with no surprises. Call us at 256-539-9501 or rosenblumrealty.com.
Hi, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN Zone. We talked about Auburn.
Yeah.
They're in that last segment having a 28-game home win streak.
Longest in the country now.
Longest in the country.
Yeah.
Just up the road from us.
Uh-oh.
Literally, maybe 10 minutes. You and I were up in that area a week ago today.
Mm-hmm.
Hazel Green.
That's right.
We got to kind of zero in on this a little bit.
700 wins now.
Yeah, but they are zeroing in on the most consecutive win streak in the state of Alabama.
In history.
Lauderdale County right now in girls, this is girls basketball.
Girls basketball, yeah.
Lauderdale County has the record of 86 straight wins from 2013 to 2015.
Crazy.
Tim Miller and the Hazel Green Trojans are sitting at, I believe, 82 wins right now in a row.
Just amazing.
They have Buckhorn tonight. If my math is right, they could break the streak on the 31st of January at Hoover.
And, boy, that would be something, too, because Hoover is a powerhouse.
They've had some close calls in this streak. 2
Yeah.
points was the closest one. You can get one, but everything else has been by double digits in this streak.
Well, they've had a showcase tournament each of the last 2 Christmases. It's run concurrently.
Yeah.
The Ball and Prep tournament with the Huntsville City Classic, and they brought in some of the best women's programs, not just in the Southeast, in the country.
This one was in Atlanta.
And
the one that they won by 2 was in Atlanta.
They've been able to win all these games against the IMGs of the world. I mean, they've played all of them. And
82 straight wins.
But what's so crazy, though, is you could argue that where they have a chance to set that record, that with Crystal Johnson and them, that Hoover and Hazel Green are the 2 best women's programs in the state.
Correct.
And so,
yes.
and this would be winning on their floor.
Yeah,
and so that would
Max
be
Prep
massive.
says at Hoover, so I don't imagine
if it's truly an area, it might be on a neutral floor. We don't know because sometimes we have to double check it. But if it's truly at Hoover,
that would be a huge deal.
Well, first of all, should be an unbelievable crowd. and then it would be an unbelievable way to set the record for these ladies. And I mean, total kudos to them, because Hazel Green and Hoover, especially Hazel Green right now, is everybody's Super Bowl. They've won 5 straight state championships. They've just done remarkable things.
December 19th of 2000. That's the last time the Hazel Green girls have lost a basketball game. December 19th of 2020.
2020, during the COVID season.
2000 would be a heck of a long win streak.
I thought, good Lord, Scott, and that would have been
like 800 wins.
Yeah, I was going to say, they've already left that in the dust if that were the case.
December 19th, 2020.
Still remarkable, but yes, I mean, this is a just tremendous accomplishment for Tim Miller and those young ladies, and again, they've played great competition. This is during this, these 82 games. This is an amazing run for Hazel Green.
All right, 256-576-4977. If you want to join the show, if you want to join the program this morning, and during the break, you were filling me in on some Alabama basketball news, not court-related, not Nate Oates-related, not related to the fact that they're playing Missouri, which we have some notes on that here in a minute, but this is off-the-court stuff.
Yeah, Kurt McNair putting out an article for BamaOnline.com, and we knew, and we've even talked about it on the show, that Nate Oates has been doing some media, and for the first time has really brought up the fact that the new arena that was part of the Crimson Standard, we've all seen the renderings from a couple years ago, that they had raised the money for that second phase. The second phase included the basketball arena. The first was, of course, that they spent big dollars renovating Bryant-Denny Stadium and building the new Science and Nutrition Center, the Sports Science Performance Center over at Alabama. But, the next phase was going to include a new arena to replace Coleman Coliseum, which is going to, I think, still be utilized. But, again, this would be a new home for Alabama men's basketball, women's basketball, gymnastics, state-of-the-art. But when COVID hit, it delayed things because while they had approved the budget, I think it was on $183.3 million or something like that, COVID, construction costs went through the roof. And so it added another, I was told at least close to $73 million on the price tag. But now, from what Kurt McNair is reporting today, and Kirk is, former publisher of Bama magazine that I read for many years as a youth, and for sports information director for Coach Bryant. I mean, he is extremely connected. He is reporting that the Board of Trustees will give a go-ahead to fund remainder to start construction if they can raise an additional $60 million. So I think that's what they're in the middle of trying to do right now. And, hey, look what Alabama's doing. They're number 4 in the country. From what I understand, Scott,
strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah, and there's only 3 games with tickets left on the home slate, and they're all midweek games. Yeah, and they're all on the cusp of selling out. So Coleman Coliseum's been getting nearly 14,000 people in the building, and so they're trying to strike while the iron's hot, while recruiting is hot. That's the way it goes. And they're trying to get this arena fast-tracked. And I'm sure it's also another way to keep Nate Oates and show that you're committed to the sport.
All right, so coming up tomorrow, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, you'll be able to hear Alabama travel to take on Missouri, where you and I last year were watching that game in a piano bar. No, wait a minute. You were not up there yet in Indianapolis.
I was not.
Wes, Steve, and I were watching that in a piano bar, a dueling piano bar, by the way.
Probably after you went to the NBA game or before.
No, it was before. Yeah, freezing our butts off there in Indianapolis.
That's right.
And I remember watching that game, Alabama traveling to Missouri. We watched
Brett Beard and I were listening in the car, and I was sticking my head out the window throwing up.
Because Alabama lost on the road in Columbia. Well, tomorrow they visit Columbia. And last year, if you remember correctly, former Lehigh standout Kobe Brown had fantastic ball game. Yep. Well, Kobe Brown has not just done it in that game. He's done it in a lot of games, and he's done it well in a lot of games this year. Yesterday, it was announced that Kobe Brown was recognized as one of the nation's top players. He was named to the Oscar Robertson Trophy midseason watch list,
there you go,
which is awarded to the National Player of the Year by the U.S. Basketball Writers Association. Brown this year is leading the Tigers with 15.7 points a game, 5.6 rebounds, also adding 2.4 assists. He's led Missouri in scoring in 9 of the 18 games this season, including 6 of the last 7, and in boards on 11 occasions. He's one of just 5 players in the country shooting at least 55% from the field and 40% from three-point range. It comes just after Missouri. He had 17 and 6 rebounds in Wednesday's night win against Arkansas. So Alabama dealing with Kobe Brown tomorrow.
Yeah, and I mean, Kobe, I got to give him credit. I mean, first of all, his career has gone by like a flash in his 4 years at Mizzou.
Yeah.
But he would have a COVID year, but with as well as he's playing, he's probably going to explore his professional opportunities after this year if he continues at this rate. I mean, but I got to give him credit because each and every year he's improved in the statistical categories. I mean, when you look at Kobe Brown and what he's doing, he averaged nearly 6 points a game as a freshman, played quite a bit, 8 points per game as a sophomore, and then he made that jump, and that was kind of one of his coming out parties when he just absolutely was dropping haymakers on Alabama.
Yeah.
He averaged 12.5 last year. This year he dropped a 30-burger on Kentucky, and he's averaging, you already told the listeners, nearly 16 points per game. So he's improved each and every year, and he's shooting 56% too, by the way. Very efficient offensively. Yeah. He's playing very well, and he's definitely on NBA radars, and he stuck it out when Dennis Gates came over. He could have gone into the portal, and trust me, from the buzz, he would have been in demand because of what he did in the SEC. So he's had one hell of a career.
All right, he's going to be a handle to handle tomorrow for Alabama. Brian Pasick will explain how the Tide can slow him down and come away with a win next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon, but temperatures only going to climb into the lower 50s. Temperatures falling into the low and mid-30s as we head into the overnight. Early Saturday morning, a mostly cloudy or an overcast sky Saturday afternoon. An isolated shower certainly can't be ruled out, but most of us are probably going to end up staying dry. Significantly better opportunity for widespread rain across the Tennessee Valley through a good majority of Sunday afternoon. Temperatures only climbing into the upper 40s and lower 50s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
In football and in finance, the best offense is a good defense. Neighbors Wealth Management has joined forces with Alliance Group to provide Alabamans with world-class financial service on both sides of the ball. Get the expertise to grow your wealth and protect your assets all under one roof. Give us a call and let's work together to turn your personal financial franchise into a perennial powerhouse. 256-469-2324 or visit us at neighborswealthmanagement.com. That number again is 256-469-2324 or neighborswealthmanagement.com.
Attention life insurance owners, do you have a policy with cash value and haven't had a review since you purchased your policy? Did you forget who the agent is? Your policy may be at risk as interest rates have fallen and remain at historical lows. Contact the experts at Neighbors Wealth Management to get a free policy review and know where you stand. Call us at Neighbors Wealth Management, 256-469-2324, or on the web at neighborswealthmanagement.com. That's Neighbors Wealth Management, 256-469-2324, or on the web at neighborswealthmanagement.com.
The Alabama Securities Commission regulates the investment industry in Alabama and protects you from financial fraud. Anyone asking you for investment money must be licensed. Fraudsters attempt to lure investors by offering high returns and attractive products like a coronavirus vaccine or cure, rebuilding communities after a storm, or gold, oil, and gas. You are careful with your money, but fraudsters aren't. Before you invest, call our hotline at 1-800-222-1253 to verify the licensing of the person making an offer and the product. Call before giving your hard-earned money to anyone. Don't get caught in a get-rich-quick scheme. Learn more about the red flags of fraud and find free financial education material on our website at asc.alabama.gov. That's asc.alabama.gov, or call our investment hotline at 1-800-222-1253. Paid for by the Investor Protection Trust and brought to you by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station. Nation.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an vital organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone with Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. We're hanging out until 9 o'clock, so we got about 30 minutes left. Right before the break, we were talking about Missouri's Kobe Brown and how well he has played. Of course, Kobe right here from Lee High School in Huntsville, and he's on the Oscar Robertson watch list. So Alabama going to have to deal with Kobe Brown, Missouri, and an energetic fan base there. Not just for the Alabama game, although it will be full for that, but this Missouri program, they're playing some good basketball as well, and they got some energetic fan base. So it's going to be a big road test for the Tide tomorrow.
No question about it. I mean, Missouri comes in. They've been nationally ranked for a good majority of the season. They're 14-4 right now after that big-time win on the road at Bud Walton Arena, 79-76 over the Arkansas Razorbacks. Kobe Brown had a lot of success against Alabama last year at home, and this was a big win for Mizzou. But Alabama coming in now, a year later, one of the top teams in America, ranked number 4 in the country, and trying to get yet another road win, stay unbeaten in the SEC to go to 7-0. And, of course, right now they're 16-2 overall. And their longtime color analyst and former player, Brian Pasek, is now with us from the Crimson Tide Sports Network. You will hear he and Chris Stewart on the call tomorrow starting at 4. The game tips off a little after 5 o'clock. But he's with us this morning to talk some Alabama basketball for a few minutes. Brian, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Doing great, guys. How are y'all today?
Doing good.
We're doing good. Is it good when somebody has played in the last 2 games, they've scored 61 points in 61 minutes?
You know, I am a professional analyst, so if you want to write this down, my answer is yes. Yes, that is good. Yeah, that's good. And listen, and to continue with this in-depth analysis, Brandon Miller is good. So
yes.
You heard it here first.
No. Those are 2 things we have not heard on this show. Thank you for that.
Listen, that's why you guys get the big time guests.
Riveting.
Break it down like that. So
awesome.
Yeah, you're welcome on that. But no, Brandon Miller is. I mean, have y'all seen a better player in the country? I mean, I'm so locked in to the SEC and I try to watch nationally as much as I can. I mean, I don't admit to having seen every player in the country. I mean, I watched Zach Edey last night at Purdue. He's dominant. I mean, there's great players around the country. Saw one in Drew Timme
yes.
in Birmingham. There's some great players in college basketball. And, you know, Oscar Tshiebwe at Kentucky, National Player of the Year returning. So I just haven't seen anybody better than Brandon Miller personally. Am I biased? Yes. Are the draft boards biased? No. And he's the top of the list in terms of college players coming out. So he is an incredible talent. Alabama has depth. They have athleticism and length and all these things. And then you add in the fact that you have either the best or certainly one of the best players in the country in Brandon Miller. And that's why so far this has been a special season. Tomorrow will be a very difficult game against one of the surprises of college basketball in Missouri. They are really, really good at home. They've had great home crowds. They will have, I'm sure, I haven't heard, but I'd be shocked if it's not a sellout tomorrow. Should be another great test for this Alabama team.
We've seen freshmen come onto the college basketball stage, not just at Alabama, but we've seen them come onto the college basketball stage, and they look lost for about the first month and a half of the season. Maybe about halfway through, they kind of really start to turn it up, and you know they get better. But we've seen some good ones. To me, that's what makes this Brandon Miller stuff really more special. Is the fact that it wasn't that he looked in awe of college basketball. He looked like he was a junior, or looks like he has been a junior on this hardwood, playing for 3 years because of how he lets the game come to him.
Yeah, I agree on all of it. If anything, college basketball's been in all of Brandon Miller in times. Listen, Arkansas did a great job against him. Missouri is a team that does a good job defensively and creating turnovers, and Dennis Gates will have a great plan. So, he is seeing great defenses, great game plans against some of the top teams and top coaches in college basketball. So it hasn't been easy, but he makes it look easy because of his talent, his skill, and his maturity. And that's what's been so impressive about Brandon Miller. And, I don't think we talk enough about Noah Clowney and Jaden Bradley, even Rylan Griffin.
They've all been great, yeah.
They've all exceeded expectations. And this was ranked the number 3 recruiting class coming in to college basketball this year. And individually, all these guys are better than we thought. So it's this young group, along with some of the veterans and transfers, has been so much fun to watch. But the thing that has surprised me the most about this young group in particular is, yes, their talent is good. It's better than we thought. Their maturity level is different than most freshman classes. They go about their business in a mature, professional way. They're unselfish. They're about the team. Brandon Miller in particular is an obvious one and done if that's what he chooses. I think Nate Oates would hold a scholarship for him if he decided to return. But the thing that I love about Brandon Miller is he is all in on Alabama, all in on college, all in and going to class and making good grades. Like he does. Yes, I'm sure he's thinking about the draft and what it'll be like to play at the NBA in the NBA. But you don't see any of that. I mean, you see him hanging out with his teammates, enjoying being a college student, enjoying playing basketball for Alabama. And that may seem simple and easy, but it's rare. And it's I think, one of the many things that makes him special.
Well, you could argue now that you've seen the production on the court that this Alabama class, instead of being number 3, was the number 1 class in the country. Because Nick Pringle has had his moments too, Brian. You were there. We talked about it with you on the show. You could call him the MVP of the Mississippi State game on the road in the first win for Alabama within the conference. He played outstanding when he had to step up when some folks were in foul trouble, Bediako, Clowney, and things of that nature. But it's just been a 5-man group that's made a huge impact, no question about that. But I wanted to also, you played in the early 90s, and you've been around Alabama basketball a long time. Jaden Bradley, I don't think gets enough credit. He had 12 the other night on the road. He's such a steadying influence, and I had a chance to talk with the guy that at Pinson Valley that he reminds me of more every time I see him play, and he got a big smile on his face. But to me, Jaden Bradley reminds me so much of Terry Connor.
I was just about to say it. Great minds think alike, Drew. I think that is a great comparison. It's just a old school, tough, hard-nosed winner. Like he doesn't care if he scores 30 or 0. He's going to guard you. He's going to get on the floor. He's going to do all the tough little things. He's getting in the paint. He's setting up teammates. He just runs the show. And we live in a time where even point guards are they're looking to score, looking to shoot, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I don't think anybody's complaining about what Steph Curry does in the NBA, but Jaden Bradley's a throwback. I mean, he does it with strength and toughness, and yes, he's quick and athletic and all those things, but just his ability to get past defenders and do it in a way that doesn't just jump out at you as spectacular speed and athleticism. But he has those, he is very athletic, but he just knows the game and has a great feel for it. And one thing he does, as well as anybody I've seen in Alabama uniform in decades, is his ability to draw fouls for a guy that teams aren't getting out and guarding him, and that's an area of his game that will improve. I mean, he's got a nice shot. He's just he wants to drive, and the scouting report will tell you, make him shoot over the top of you, keep him out of the lane, And I would say good luck with that, because even though that's the scouting report, that's the game plan, he gets in the lane. When he starts gaining confidence and becoming more consistent as a three-point shooter, it's over. You're not going to be able to guard him. And I've seen him work relentlessly on his three-point shot. And he is someone that's capable of getting it going from deep. But when you look at how teams are guarding him, and he's still able to get in the lane pretty much any time he wants, it's really amazing. And he's a fun player to watch. And I think that for us old Alabama fans that remember how good Terry Connor was, one of the best to ever put on the crimson and white, doesn't get the recognition as some because didn't have an NBA career along it. He played professionally, had success professionally at different spots, but he was hard to guard, and he's one I've talked to Coach Sanderson about. He loved Terry Connor and just brought that toughness and winning attitude and maturity. And Jay Bradley has a lot of those characteristics.
He really does. And so what's the key, though, to getting a win over Missouri? You've studied them. They play at a fast pace. They're one of the higher scoring teams in the league, Brian. What's going to be the key to getting a win in Como?
Well, they're really good offensively. They're ranked higher offensively than Alabama, number 7 in the country in offensive efficiency. Defensively, they create a lot of turnovers. I think at last look, they're number 1 in the country in steal percentage, and that has been an area that, fortunately for Alabama, has gotten much better since conference play has started, but it's still not the strength of this team. So ball security, always important on the road, but never more so when you're playing against a team like Missouri who creates so many turnovers.
It's going to be an interesting game, no doubt about it. This Alabama team's shown a lot of mental toughness. What they've gone through off the court, we all know that. But it's going to be a fun one headed back out on the road. Can Alabama get 2 road wins in a week? It's going to be tough, but we know that they definitely are playing at as high a level as anyone in the country, as they are now up to number 4. And I envy you guys. You guys are on the road with these in getting the best seat in the house. You guys are going to get a chance to see the show yet again, and we are going to have it here on ESPN 97.7 The Zone. Well, Brian, safe travels to you and Chris and the whole crew, Tom Stipe. We're looking forward to your broadcast starting tomorrow at 4 o'clock, and it's going to be a great opportunity for Alabama to get a big road win over a quality opponent. Thank you, sir.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all having me.
All right, thanks, Brian. All right, let's get that final break in. Tomorrow's headlines to wrap up the week when we return.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
NFL playoff season is here, and the best place to catch all of the action, all the way up until the Super Bowl, is Humphrey's Bar and Grill. Don't miss Humphrey's game day football specials: $2.75 Miller Lite, Yingling, Coors Light Pints, $3.50 Yellowhammer Gold Pints, $4 Fireball. Anytime football is on. And with live music every night, there is no better place to party downtown than Humphrey's Bar and Grill. Humphrey's, always a party, never a cover. Located online at humphreysdowntown.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Attorney Tommy Sinyard on behalf of Sinyard Law, and again, proud to be a sponsor of All Things Football here on ESPN Radio. My son Bart and I started our own law firm July 1 and are very proud and excited to be bringing you our 50 years of collective national award-winning injury trial law experience. Check us out on the web, sinyardlaw.com.
Sinyard Law, nationally recognized, locally respected.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and thanks to Bruce Feldman for this.
Yeah.
I cannot take credit for it. Texas A&M. This is interesting.
I saw it. I've been hitting this on the head, brother. Get out of town. Where's that Greyhound at?
Piling up in the Tokyo Driftsters vehicle and getting out of Dodge. So anyway, it's always interesting to see, and people react because they'll first of all they'll say, oh, well, my program had 13 players go in the transfer portal, or we've had 13 or 12 players or 15 players go in the portal. Keep in mind, football teams have 120-some guys on their roster, or not on their roster, but they have a ton of guys. If you lose 13, chances are these are guys that did not play. They're freshmen lots of times. You do get some guys like Spencer Sanders out of Oklahoma State, who a 4-year starter, and they're leaving. Okay, those you do get guys like that. But Texas A&M this offseason, Jimbo Fisher has had 25 scholarship players leave in one season. 18 were blue-chip recruits.
And I've hit it right on the head because I said at least 25 of these SOBs would be gone with the wind.
8 are from the top 100, including 5 stars Denver Harris and Chris
we
Marshall.
nicknamed him Tokyo Drift. Remember, he was in the parking garage. I mean, he was all over the place. You know.
He's been doing a little bit of puff, puff, pass.
Okay.
And then you have 7 were freshmen from their top-ranked 2022 class.
Right.
So that is what is going on at Texas A&M. 25 scholarship players have departed the building. From that, remember, 8 now are from the top-ranked class that money could buy.
Yeah, which is falling apart. So, no player development, bro. And I mean, I'm just telling you, a coaching staff that wasn't very good. Now, they passed the look test. I mean, they've got some impressive-looking guys, but, I mean, they haven't been able to manage their roster. And now, you got he goes out and hires, Harley Davidson to be the offensive coordinator. And like I've been saying on multiple occasions, a narcissist is going to work for a peckerhead. So they ought to make a T-shirt.
And then I don't know if you've heard this or not. I imagine you have.
Well, I think when you look at Will, as Todd said, physically, you can draw up an NFL quarterback. He's that guy with the size, the stature, the arm, the way he spins it, make every throw, the toughness, the ability to beat you with his legs. He is a running dual threat quarterback. The fact that he dealt with adversity. It wasn't easy at Kentucky. It wasn't pitch and catch. He didn't have the elite offensive line this year. He had it as a junior, good line. Remember, Fortner, the center, heck of a job in Jacksonville, right? Anchoring that line. He was the center at Kentucky. Kennard had been there, it seemed like forever. That offensive line was outstanding when he was in 2022. 2023, terrible offensive line. No Wan'Dale Robinson, no Chris Rodriguez the first 4 games, and he was beat up. How he got on the field, I don't know. How he finished the year, I don't know. And then he didn't play in the bowl game because he was beat up and he had to get ready for the NFL draft process. He was with that team. He was in those coaching meetings. He was with those quarterbacks. He was another coach. This guy is passionate about the game, loves the game. Now you talk turnovers, right? Well, we heard that about other quarterbacks along the way. Once he even got into the NFL, they turn it over. That's something when you got to try to make a play. You're Kentucky, okay? You're trying to make plays.
That's Mel Kiper professing his love for one Will Levis. And yesterday, CBS had a mock draft come out, and they put Will Levis number 1 overall.
Fire everybody. That's my take on that. Because Will Levis can't clean Bryce Young's bathroom. I don't care how far he can throw a damn ball. I don't care how fast he can run a 40-yard dash. That's not what quarterbacking is. It's from the neck up, bro. Watch the Ole Miss tape. That's what you're going to see.
That?
Gagging. That's what that is, turning the ball over. Yes, his offensive line wasn't great, but he still had Chris Rodriguez. He still had Barry and Brown. He had some good young wide receivers, and he couldn't consistently complete passes. Yes, he's tough. He did get hurt. Is he worth maybe a second-round pick? Probably so, but the number 1 overall pick in the draft? No flipping way. He couldn't beat out Sean Clifford at Penn State. This is not Joe Burrow, okay? It was pretty easy to see that Joe Burrow was a great player. He improved dramatically from his junior to his senior. Oh, he had a great supporting cast. Oh, he had all these freaks. But he had to get him the ball. Okay? Will Levis, the clock in his head is broken. I've watched it. I mean, I think he's a guy you can take a chance on in the second round. But a top-shelf first rounder, a first overall pick, fire your entire organization. Fire them all. Did you not learn from Zach Wilson? The guy can't play dead in a B Western, and you picked him second. The Jets will probably draft this clown.
Chicago, by the way, has the first pick in the draft.
I know, but they'll probably trade it to the Jets.
For Will Levis.
Probably. I mean, pathetic. I hope the Colts draft Bryce Young. Do you want to win?
Depends who they get as a coach.
You go to the Super Bowl.
If you're Denver, do you get rid of your first-round pick to get Sean Payton?
Yeah, you got it. You need a coach.
All right, we need to take a break. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 10 to 12, University Kia.